Hello, and welcome back to the Football Minded Podcast. This is episode 3. We're back, me and Tony right here. So, we have a couple of things to cover this week, mainly the qualifiers. I think that's the biggest event. You had European qualifiers, South American qualifiers, a couple of friendlies.
Yep, yep. I mean the big moments of this international break over the past few days were the Euro qualifiers because we already have a few teams now officially qualified for the Euro Cup. So we can start with Group A. Group
Yeah,
A, we actually have two teams rather than just one, as it's usually two per group. This time around, already before the final match week, which is held in a month from now, we already have two teams qualified. So those are Spain and Scotland, each with 5 wins, one draw, no, one loss, zero draws.
yep.
Each with 3 goals against. Spain 19 goals for, Scotland 12 goals for. Spain were the top performers from this past match week,
Yeah, yeah.
defeating Scotland in the first game and then Norway in the
Norway.
second, which effectively qualified them for the Euro. And then Scotland also qualified because Norway dropped all 3 points. It allowed Scotland to also qualify.
Yeah, they got a nice 3-0 win versus Cyprus.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's pretty much for Group A. Then you got Group B.
yeah.
France
I
qualified
did want to
after.
mention one thing for
Yeah,
Group A. There's still a possibility that either Norway or Georgia could still qualify because there's
chances
the
are very
playoffs.
slim. Yeah,
There's the
that's
playoffs,
true.
and I believe both countries are eligible. So that could be a really interesting thing. Georgia still has 2 games left with 3 points behind Norway. Norway only has one. If I look at their schedule now, it's just loading. Georgia do have Scotland and Spain though, so it will not be easy for them in either game. Norway, I imagine. Let me just double check, but Norway, I think, is playing Cyprus. So that if they're playing Cyprus, this should be an easy win for them. And I mean, if Norway can get that, then they could still have a chance for the playoffs. This is with under the impression that they are playing. Actually, they're playing Scotland, so not an easy game for them either. But I mean, there's still a chance that they can qualify. It's just it'll be pretty hard.
So we had Group B, France and Netherlands. France got a nice win versus the Dutch and beat Ireland 2-0. They basically secured qualification. Mbappe scored a brace against the Dutch. Very good game by him. We
Oh
also
yeah.
had Netherlands versus Greece.
Yeah, and with that, actually, against the Dutch, with Mbappe's goals, he tied and beat Platini's goal
Oh,
scoring
really?
record. Yeah,
Oh,
he
I didn't
tied
know
it at
that.
42 and then beat it with his second goal at 43. So now Mbappe is, I believe, fourth place now
Wow.
in France in goal
He's only
scoring.
24, 23 now?
Yeah,
That's insane.
24, I believe.
Yeah, he's
24.
gonna. He's probably gonna break it.
Oh, for sure. He for sure will. I think Giroud is number one, and I mean, he's just above 50 goals, I believe. So, like he'll definitely break it. It's just
Oh,
a
I thought it
matter
was
of
more than
when.
50. I thought it was 60 something. Oh, yeah, it might be 50.
I'm gonna double check for his, but it's definitely around some. It's somewhere around that. I'm gonna check his goal scoring tally right now. It's just interesting to see how Giroud became number one, especially when everyone was like mocking
Well,
him. You remember in 2018, a lot of people were mocking him, but he still
but
played an effective
he
role.
he played a very good World Cup. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't need. He's a type of striker that really links the play together,
Oh,
right?
for sure, for
So
sure.
he opened up the game on so many times for France. I remember in that World Cup. So
Yeah.
yeah, his impact was definitely felt, and I think people were just trolling him for no reason.
Yeah, I think it's really because they just saw the score sheet, no goals. But I mean, he had to draw at least two defenders on him because of his size too,
Yeah, yeah.
and it allowed other players such as Mbappe, even like Griezmann, who also scored a multitude of goals in that World Cup. I remember. They really took the attention. Giroud took the attention away from those players, and it allowed those players to really flourish in the World Cup. And
For
now I'm
sure.
looking at the stat here, and it's 54 goals. So it's
Oh
not
yeah,
far. It's not far. Mbappe is very close
he's
to
like a
it.
year away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then you got Netherlands, Greece. Netherlands picking up a very important win versus Greece, puts them in a good place to qualify now. It was a very scrappy game. The Netherlands pretty much they were not able to break down that Greek low block. missed a penalty. I think it was in the first half.
Yep.
And then Van Dijk steps up, takes the second penalty, 93rd minute. Real captain's contribution.
Yep. And then that's it. Just 1-0
Yeah.
scrappy away win. It was a very important win, mind you. And now Netherlands are that much closer to making the Euro. So off to the next group now. Who do
Yeah.
we have?
England, Ukraine, Italy. That one's really interesting. England
Very.
with a very good qualifying campaign. They beat Italy in their last round of qualifiers, 3-1. Harry Kane with a brace, Rashford with a goal. I believe Bellingham got an assist too. Very good game. Honestly, I think Italy probably could have got a little bit more out of that game.
Oh, for sure.
England took their chances. Harry Kane with a very nice goal, following a mistake by Pickford. Really, I don't know if you saw that. He gave a really poor pass. The defender clears it up, goes off an Italian defender's head. Harry Kane ends up with the ball, touches it around the defender.
Yep.
Muscles off another defender, and then scores. It was a really good goal. Ukraine having a pretty strong qualifying session. Italy with a game in hand. Italy was going to really need two good performances to get through. Absolutely. I believe they play North Macedonia, and I think they play Ukraine after that in the final match day. Yeah. So that's going to be very important. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for that group.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And I mean, yeah, those are going to be really interesting groups with North Macedonia and Italy. That's the first game, Italy, Ukraine, as you said. For the second, those are going to be some really interesting games. And I mean, Italy, they would still be at least assured a playoff spot should they finish third. So I mean, it's not the end of the world if they don't finish in the top two, but
again, we've seen Italy's track record in those situations. So I think they'd really want to secure qualification. They do not want to mess around in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And as now checking the standings, and we're talking about how to make the playoffs. So when we're talking about Group A with Norway and Georgia, Norway cannot qualify directly, but they can still advance to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they're out of the qualifications directly, but they can still advance to the playoffs should they end up finishing third. Thing is, I think they'll also need to accumulate enough points because it's not going to be every third place team in each group that's going to advance.
For sure.
Georgia is already automatically qualified for the playoffs.
It's based on their
Nations League performance, where they won their group.
Yep.
So Georgia is one team that can qualify that can go directly to the playoffs. We also have Finland, who's part of that, and we also have Finland's in Group H, and then we also have Group J, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yeah.
So
those are guaranteed playoffs. They don't qualify, which none of them are looking like they're going to qualify.
Yeah.
There we go. And then next group, we're at Group D. Turkey, Wales, Croatia. Turkey with a very dominant qualifying campaign. 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. They beat Latvia 4-0 in the last qualifiers, as well as Croatia 1-0, which is a big victory. Again, secured qualification. They only have 1 game left versus Wales, which is really important for Wales.
Very.
Yeah. Wales and Croatia tied on points. What's it called? Wales ahead based on head-to-head. I believe they beat Croatia and drew them.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're ahead on head-to-head. It'll be really interesting to see what happens in this one. I could definitely see Croatia still qualifying, especially that Wales have a game against Armenia, which will be looking to win to get into the playoffs.
Yep. And thing is,
game versus Turkey.
Let's see how that one goes. Wales defeated. Armenia defeated Wales.
Yep.
In Cardiff. It was an absolute shocker. I remember watching that, and I was just absolutely shocked. 4-2. Wales were never in that game. Like, Wales' goals was literally damage limitation.
Well, Armenia got off to a really good start.
Yeah.
They really only ruined the qualifying chances in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that...
Well, I would also argue for the earlier game against Turkey. In Turkey, I mean, you're up 1-0. Like, that would have been a huge upset had they defeated Turkey Turkey. And then they concede a very late goal off of...
Well, the main one is giving Latvia their first 3
points. That was just terrible.
Yeah.
That was terrible. I was watching that game. Honestly, Armenia, I mean, I'm part Armenian. I watch them. I watch them very closely. This country, whenever they play, they could be playing one of the best teams in the world in the first match day of qualifiers, and they can win that game. You put them against even Andorra in the last match day, and I guarantee you they'll lose that game. They'll lose it. Absolutely.
Well, they did that versus Latvia. Like,
they did that against
that's a very poor
Liechtenstein
win.
in their last
Lost.
qualifying campaign. They Liechtenstein 1-0. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I can't lie. Because if they would have won this game, they'd be on 10 points. How'd they do versus? They lost to Croatia, so they'd be behind Croatia.
Yeah, and that Croatian game, they only lost 1-0. I mean, it could have been a way bigger score. It's their goalkeeper that really kept them in that game. But I mean, it's also against Croatia. Croatia are significantly better than Armenia.
If they win that game, they're second place.
If Armenia wins their game,
I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually,
well, it all depends on what Croatia does.
Well, Croatia, Armenia have the head-to-head against Wales, but lose the head-to-head versus Croatia and lose the goal difference to Croatia. So I don't know how that would work. I think it'll go down to maybe like goals scored or stuff like that.
Yeah, thing is, it's like you hope that Latvia could somehow defeat Croatia.
No, I'm talking about if they had beat Latvia, where would they be now?
Oh, if Armenia had beaten them? Well, I mean, they would. It's head-to-head first, so honestly, Armenia would be ahead of Wales.
Yeah, but they'd be behind Croatia.
Yeah.
So really, I'm not sure exactly how that would work. Would they be ahead of Croatia and Wales because they have better?
No, head-to-head comes first.
Yeah, but they have better head-to-head than Wales, and Wales is better head-to-head than Croatia. I don't think that's how it works, though.
Then, I mean, because Wales has a better head-to-head against Croatia, is that it?
No, Croatia. Yeah, Wales has better head-to-head than Croatia. Armenia has better head-to-head than Wales, but Croatia has better head-to-head than Armenia.
Then I believe it would amount to goal differential at that point.
I'm not too sure, actually. It might be goals for at a certain point. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Group E, you have, again, Albania is a surprise package in this group.
Yeah.
Grabbing 13 points from a possible 18. Very, very good. 4-1-1. Grabbing a very, very big win against Czechia.
Oh, 3-0. And against Poland in their last match week in September, 2-0 in that one. That was, and in Poland too, was an absolute shocker. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Albania are in for a resurgence. I remember when it was the 2016 Euro. Ahead of that, they took Europe by storm in the qualifiers. The Euro was a little less good. It wasn't terrible either. I mean, they defeated Romania in the third match day. They lost to Switzerland only 1-0. They lost to France 2-0, and it took France 2 stoppage time goals to get that win. And then against Romania, they actually defeated them. And it was just a matter of, I believe, goal differential or something, to the point where because of that, Albania couldn't make it just because of goal differential. It was unfortunate, but at the same time, I mean, you got to get those goals in.
Yeah, well, they made up for it now. They're qualifying. I think it's not secured yet, but they're in a very good position for it.
And thing is, with Albania, they're definitely unable to qualify through playoffs. They can't go through playoffs, so they have to qualify in the top 2. So a lot of pressure right now will be on them because of that.
They're playing Moldova next.
That should be an easy win. I mean, that should.
They're playing Moldova and then Faroe Islands. I think they have a pretty good chance.
Okay, so they're in a favorable position at least.
Yeah,
at least that.
And they've only conceded 3 goals the whole campaign. That's impressive.
Very, very impressive. That's half a goal per game. Very impressive.
And yeah, next you got Group F. Belgium, Austria, Sweden, the main players in that group. You got Azerbaijan and Estonia as the bottom 2. Belgium still undefeated, 5-2-0. A little expected considering the rest of the group.
This group is dead dead in the water though, because Belgium and Austria have qualified. Yeah. Sweden can't even go through playoffs, so it's dead. The group is dead. Really? Yeah, this group, there's nothing to play for anymore. I mean, just top of the group. I guess.
Well, Sweden can still make playoffs.
No, they actually cannot because of the playoffs, how it works.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they can't even make the playoffs.
That's very interesting.
Because either you needed to win the Nations League, or you need to accumulate a certain amount of points.
Well, they could end up with 13 points.
But then it's with the other teams in that group because it's not like every third place team would make it.
Yeah, but isn't
Either.
it like the best third place finishes that make the playoffs? Like there's a certain amount of playoff teams that come out of third place.
Yeah,
The best
but there are
third
some
place
teams that are
finish.
already guaranteed that though,
Well,
based on points.
you got Croatia, Poland, all.
And then I mean, it
under
says here
13.
that they're eliminated officially.
Yeah, I wonder why though.
Like it gives an E next to their name. So I mean, I don't know if it has to do with maybe wins accumulated. I don't know if this is a metric that's used when it comes to a tiebreaker like this.
Really odd. Or maybe they favor the 6-team groups. I don't know.
That's possible. That is possible.
They play Estonia and then Belgium play Azerbaijan in their final 2 games. The 2 bottom teams in the group.
It'll be status quo.
Yeah. Group G: Hungary, Serbia, Montenegro, Lithuania, and Bulgaria. Hungary and Serbia pretty much already through, or they are through.
Yeah. Well, they're not official, but it's pretty much.
Well,
they're 1 win away.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Montenegro still has a chance.
Yeah. If anything, I would bet on them making the playoffs. If anything.
Well, Montenegro could hop past Serbia, but I believe the head-to-head versus Hungary.
Yeah, and it won't be easy for Montenegro to get past Serbia.
Oh, for sure.
They're 5 points behind.
Serbia beat them 3-0 in their last.
Yeah, and they're 5 points behind.
Serbia just
2
need a
games
draw.
left. Yeah.
Yeah, so Serbia just need a draw to qualify.
Yeah.
So that group is pretty much done and dusted. Does it say Montenegro can have playoff chances?
Yeah, they can still advance. No, they cannot advance to the playoffs. Actually, they can qualify directly. That's very slim chance.
Yeah.
But they cannot go through the playoffs.
Okay. Group H: Slovenia, Denmark, Kazakhstan, Finland, Northern Ireland, and San Marino. San Marino doing San Marino things.
Hey, they finally scored though.
Yeah.
They finally scored against Denmark too. Hey, they tied the game. And I mean Denmark did get a second goal to go ahead, but I mean that game was 1-1 for a bit.
Yeah.
We thought that because I mean it was 0-0. Denmark went up 1-0. Not like super early in the game either.
It must be hard to watch them as a San Marino fan.
Oh, I can imagine.
I still remember Germany beat them 13-0 once.
Yeah,
I was watching that.
Did you see their admin when they scored? Their Twitter admin? Oh, I need to show you this. I'm going to show you this. But in the meantime, we'll just talk about how close this race to the Euro is. Look at this. Slovenia, Denmark, both 19 points out of 8 games. Kazakhstan, 15 points out of 8 games. Finland, 12 points out of 8 games. Kazakhstan is assured of at least a playoff spot, according to this.
Yeah, based on their nation.
Finland is assured of a playoff spot from the get-go, though, because of the Nations League. They won their group.
Oh, sorry, I meant Finland was, yeah.
Yeah, Denmark is assured at least a playoff spot, but they have a good chance of making it automatically. Yep. Slovenia have a good chance of making it automatically.
Well, Kazakhstan have San Marino next.
Yeah, which is going to be a win, likely, for Kazakhstan. And Kazakhstan,
Denmark,
this is
Denmark
the
and Slovenia
play
each other next too. That could be big.
Which one?
Denmark and Slovenia play each other next.
Oh, that's going to be the game of the group.
For sure.
Unless you really like a good underdog story, then you need to follow Kazakhstan the whole time.
Honestly, quality-wise, I'd say Finland is up there too. Like on paper,
Finland's up there, but you need to watch Kazakhstan, man. This team, no, I'm telling you, the way they win their games too is unbelievable. They win their games in comeback fashion, in stoppage time, or if not stoppage time, we're talking about the late 80s here.
Yeah, 1-0 versus Northern Ireland.
This country is poised to make the Euro as the surprise team, in my opinion. At first, I thought I had Georgia, especially because given their automatic advance to the playoffs, I figured they could maybe cause something there. But Kazakhstan, this team have just impressed me the whole time. Well, it's unfortunate that they're just behind. And that was a comeback victory.
And Finland has lost their last 3, though.
Yeah, this was a comeback victory for Kazakhstan. Down 1-0, they scored 2 goals very late in the game. Man, this team is something else. I can't even name a single player from this team.
Honestly.
But they're absolutely killing it. They're killing it. I can't put it in any other words.
They're overperforming, but I don't see them.
I can see it up until the tournament.
Yeah, well, if they qualify,
I think they will. I
I
mean,
think if they go playoffs, they don't qualify.
I would love to see them qualify, especially the way they've been winning their matches. If they can win the matches the same way,
As soon as
that would
they
be the
like,
best thing.
I cannot see Kazakhstan beating a team like Italy or beating.
They don't
Italy.
have to be playing them though.
I know. I'm just they made in the wait. It's how many people qualify again?
For playoffs,
Yeah, from the playoffs, how many teams come out?
I believe 12.
12 teams.
It's the
Like I'm
same
just
as
saying,
the Euro
if they face
because
a
it's
team,
3 teams that make it, and it's 4 teams per sort of mini tournament or like division.
yeah. Well, I don't see them making out of the playoffs.
I don't know. I would put my money on Kazakhstan.
We'll see. It'll be
Hey, with
very
the
interesting if
odds
they
too,
do.
with the odds, man, I'm definitely putting money on
Oh
them.
yeah.
Who else do we have
We
here?
got Group I, Romania, Switzerland, Israel, Kosovo, Belarus, and Andorra. Romania and Switzerland and pole position to qualify. Although Israel have 2 games in hand on Romania, 1 game in hand on Switzerland, and they play Switzerland next. Actually, they're Israel's next 2 games are against Switzerland and Romania, so it's really the make or break games for them.
For
If they
Switzerland,
can get for Israel, I mean.
Israel, yeah.
If they
I
get
can see Switzerland.
if they get 2 wins there or a draw and a win, they'll be in a very good position to qualify or a little better than they are now.
Well, they're already assured at least a playoff spot because of their performances in the Nations League. They're assured at least a Nations League spot. Not Nations League,
A
playoff spot. Yeah. Switzerland and Romania are not. They cannot advance. They cannot get into the playoffs. But or Romania cannot at least get to the playoffs. Switzerland, they may still be able to if they don't finish in the top 2, and it would be Israel who finishes in the top 2. So Switzerland have 3 more games left. As you said, Israel have 4. Israel, both of their games had to get canceled because of the current situation happening over there.
Yep.
One of them was against Switzerland. That was their home game against Switzerland. The other one was against Kosovo in Kosovo. Romania have played 8 games out of a possibility of 8. It's not like any games have gotten postponed so far. So Romania still have 2 games.
Yep. Still
And
undefeated, them in Switzerland.
Yep. And when Romania played Switzerland, Switzerland were up 2-0, playing at home, and then Romania scored 2 late goals, literally one right after another. It was 2 counter-attacking goals, came out of nowhere really, and then just like that, Romania had stolen 2 points. Since that game, Switzerland have not really established themselves as a force as you'd expect in that group because it's a pretty easy group, with none of those teams having qualified for the past World Cup or past Euro Cup. Romania is the only team I know of who have qualified for the Euro, historically speaking.
Yeah, well,
So I mean,
Switzerland,
we'll
yeah,
see what happens.
slightly poor campaign.
I would say so. I would say so.
Conceding a little bit more goals than they really should.
Yeah.
Teams that they shouldn't really be conceding that
Yeah.
much against.
Look at it in their October
3-3
match day.
Belarus, 2-2 Kosovo.
And if you look at the game, Switzerland up 1-0. I mean, they dominated that first half. Only got 1 goal out of it. Belarus parked the bus, but then Belarus 3 opportunities, 3 goals, up 3-1. Switzerland had to score 2 goals in 2 minutes to regain a point.
Yeah.
After having squandered all 3. And then Belarus only took 1. That officially eliminated Belarus from the tournament, though. Had Belarus won the game, they would have still been in it with 8 points. They would have still had a slim chance, but now that's officially over. And then Switzerland, I mean, you had that draw to Romania back in June. You had the draw against Kosovo in September where you're up 2-1 and you concede a goal literally on the last play. And honestly, I was watching that game. Switzerland treated that game as if it was a friendly. I don't understand how they approached that game.
And well, Switzerland could be coming into the group like a little bit overconfident.
I think so. But now this is literally a run of poor performances. June, 2-1 against Andorra in Andorra.
Yeah.
Where they were up 2-0, and then at times it was almost scary. You have the draw against Romania where you blow a 2-goal lead. Then in September, you have Kosovo where you're up 1-0, concede a goal, go 1-1. You go up 2-1, but then you concede a goal in the last second, literally last play of the game. You have then Andorra again. Okay, 3-0. 2 of their goals, though, happen in the last 6 minutes of the game.
Yep.
So you were up 1-0 up until like the 85th minute, which is not to Swiss standards. And then now you had this draw against Belarus. So this is 5 games in a row where you, although undefeated, they have performed well below
I still
well below
think I still
expectations.
expect them to top the group.
They have to. Honestly, this
Like
would be a failed campaign if they can't top the group, considering who their opponents are. This should be an easy win for Switzerland to top the group. They're significantly better than any other team. Romania
for sure.
have not even come close to qualifying for a competition since they made it to the Euro in 2016.
But then again, they still have 3 games, all the opportunity in the world. Like it's still in their hands to top the
It
group.
is.
So
That's
I,
the thing with
I
Switzerland. At
do
least
expect
they have it.
I do expect them to top the group there. I don't see them.
Yeah. And look, it's a 1 point difference. Switzerland have a game in hand.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Then you
this,
got Group J, which Portugal having probably the best qualifying campaign out of any team right now,
yeah,
scoring 32 goals in 8 games, only conceded 2 goals.
which were in their last game, both of them.
Yeah.
Where they defeated.
No, the game before.
Oh yeah, in the game before against Slovakia. Yeah, it was the same match week, but yeah, not the last game.
Yeah, they beat their last game was against Bosnia, beat them 5-0.
Yeah.
Slovakia in pole position to qualify. I think draw. Who do they play next? They play Iceland.
But here's where I find it really interesting.
Yeah, draw and they're through.
Luxembourg, because even though they still have a chance to automatically make it in the top two, they are guaranteed a playoff spot. Now, I'm not saying they're gonna win.
Are they guaranteed? Is it the nation? No, it's not the nation.
It has to do with, I think them. It's because of points accumulated. They have 11 points. That's pretty. Right now, that's the best third place team, or no, second best third place team.
Israel has 11. Kazakhstan has 15.
Okay, second best, tied first, or no, third best, because there is also Greece, but Greece also are in the playoffs.
True. I think it does favor the 16 groups.
Yeah, and also, I mean, don't forget, like we have 12 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah,
in
that's true.
Like 12. So you have those 3 from the Nations League. It's only 3.
So you got 9 from these, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyways, yeah, that pretty much sums up the qualifiers. Some interesting friendlies. Germany played 2 friendlies. They're looking to really, get going, get some momentum before the tournament in Germany. They played a good game against the U.S., I'd say. Very poor first half, though. The first half,
right?
They just couldn't. They couldn't really get into to the game. At certain times, the U.S. was like toying with them, which was a little bit of a shock to see.
Right.
Second half was much better. Scored 2 goals. Eventually took the game 3-1. Then the next game versus Mexico.
I'm surprised they didn't win that game.
Considering
what the current state of the Mexican national team,
but they've turned things around, honestly, and this game really showed.
I don't know. I can't really measure that on just their one performance.
No, but this game really showed that the Mexican team has turned it around at least, or starting to turn it around.
Maybe starting. I'd have to give them more games though.
They played well. They played really, really well. Like they were not just parking the bus, letting Germany have the ball. Like they were really positive in their play. They really took it to the Germans, and they got rewarded for it. 2-2 is a pretty decent result for them against Germany.
I would say so, yeah.
And even from the German side, two poor goals to concede, you could say. Like it's not like the Pulisic goal for the United States. I don't know if you saw that one.
That was a nice goal.
It was a very nice goal from outside the box. But yeah, so again, 2 goals that could be avoided. One which I think was a little bit Rudiger's mistake. But honestly, after these 2 friendlies, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Germany. I think Nagelsmann can really, or hopefully, can get this team back on track. Yeah. And
just took them one half really for the boys to start meshing together, and now after that one half, they turn on the Jets, can score 3 goals straight.
Yeah,
3 unanswered goals against the U.S. and
I think they scored 1 in the first.
Oh, they did?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, my bad then. But
still,
3 unanswered goals nevertheless.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I think Germany will be able to turn it around. I think Germany will be looking at a semifinal finish. I think that's like the main goal for them, semifinal, maybe quarterfinal. Who knows though? From like they have the quality. It's just they're just not clicking, right? They like we know the German team. We know who they have. They're probably a top three squad on paper in the world.
Right. Yeah.
So I if not top three, then at least top five. So I really do expect them to, or I expect Nagelsmann to figure it out from now until the Euro. And they have to, right? It's at home. I don't know. I expect at least a quarterfinals finish minimum. That's the
Yeah.
bare minimum. If it's not quarterfinals, it's a complete disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I would say so as well. I would say so as well. When you're hosting a tournament like that, especially stakes are high, it is the German national team in the end. It's die Mannschaft. I mean,
Yeah,
you need
exactly.
to uphold your
The
reputation,
expectations are very
right? You
high.
got a
Yeah,
reputation to uphold. So
yeah.
yeah. But
And
I mean,
also,
it'll be interesting to
but
see what
also,
Nagelsmann does.
what I really want to see though, I remember the last game against Mexico. We were playing for some reason we were playing Musiala on the left. I mean, in the middle, and Florian Wirtz on the left. I really want to see that switch. I think Wirtz is much better in the middle than Musiala, or maybe not much better, but I think his decision making, his choices of passes. I think his vision is slightly better than Musiala. And Musiala, you put him on the wing, takes people on, very active, is able to create something out of almost nothing, right? And he doesn't necessarily have to be like a wide winger. He can play more of a Sane role. You know how Sane plays with Bayern, he cuts in a little bit more. He's a
Yeah.
little more central, a little more inverted. I think he could really shine in that role. You have the overlap from the fullback giving support when we're attacking in Gosens. I don't know.
And
I think that could really work. I'd really like to see that because a couple times in the game, Musiala gets the ball, does a great turn, and he it's just a pass that I think Verts would complete, or a decision that I think Verts would, I think Verts would make better decisions in those plays. So I'd like to see them switch. That's my main comment
it's a
on
very
that
good
game.
analytical perspective there. So I mean, with Germany now covered as well, we covered every single group now in the Euro qualifiers. So we've done the rundown. What about the South American World Cup qualifiers? What do you like, don't like? What's out there that really caught your eye in South
So
America?
honestly, Uruguay beating Brazil, a little bit unexpected. This Brazil team is by no means a weak team. We've seen weaker Brazil teams.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, it was overshadowed by that Neymar injury.
Yeah, sadly, that's very
A
very
torn
sad.
ACL. I mean, with when you see the amount of injuries he's accumulated, how far down he's gone in terms of performances. Because I mean, a torn ACL plus a meniscus.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to come back from.
That's very hard to come back
That's
from. An ACL alone is career changing. Look at a player like Radamel Falcao.
yep,
That
absolutely.
was that's the perfect example for a footballer on how your career changes. Even as a Montreal fan, I remember this guy Cameron Porter. First season in, he has a very good preseason, scores the biggest goal up until today, honestly, in club history. Tears his ACL a couple games later. Never the same player, and he didn't even play 10 game. He didn't play any more than maybe 10, 15 games after that in his career,
Yep.
and then called it quits. But I mean, he had other things going on for him. But thing is, now with Neymar, we have torn ACL, torn meniscus. He's already had so many injuries.
I think this is when he falls off the
The
top.
final blow.
Yeah.
I think it's the final blow.
Like
And honestly, if there are any other injuries that persist, I would not be surprised if he retires after his contract with Al Hilal.
you know what? I agree, and we see that a lot with Brazilians. To be honest,
Yeah,
they tend to end their careers a little bit early, but you never hope for that, especially a player as entertaining as Neymar.
yeah,
But yeah, it'll be very tough to see him come back in full strength after that.
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's very very unfortunate.
And I see he was the top player for goals and assists
Yep,
combined. That's really unfortunate.
three assists, two goals.
Really
You know,
unfortunate.
like I hope he can again. He's 33 now. I hope he can come back and still be able to help the Brazilian national team. which I think he'll be
He's 31.
even. Oh, he's 31. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
so
he's
he's
so young.
he's got time. Like he still has a few years. But thing is, I mean, his with
Like he won't be back. He won't be back for at least a year, fully fit.
no, that's a year. Yeah, that's a year's worth
So
of
that's
being out.
I don't know. It's gonna be tough, and then for him to get back into full fitness, for him to get his form back, I don't know. It might be a while before we get to see the best of Neymar. If not, like we might never get to see the best of Neymar again. So it's very unfortunate.
It is. It is.
Another standout performer in these qualifiers would be Caicedo, and obviously Lionel Messi, who's probably been, if not the best player, then top three so far in these
For sure.
qualifiers. But then again, it's Messi with Argentina. I don't think you expect anything less. So Brazil, a little bit of an unexpected loss to Uruguay, as we were saying,
Yeah.
right, 2-0. But then again, I don't think in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly, I actually want to point out one thing. Now it is early in the qualifying, but I do want to point out Chile's decline over the
yeah,
past few years. Right now they have 4 out of 4 games, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses, 4 points, 3 goals, 4-6 against, minus 3 goal differential. But that part was besides the point. We're talking about 2022 not making the World Cup,
yep.
2018 not making the World Cup.
After winning back-to-back Copa Americas.
Yeah.
Well, then again, you see it.
But their star players, look at their star
exactly,
players. Vidal,
left.
Sanchez,
Or,
they're
but
past their prime, way past their prime. Sanchez still has some stuff. Oh yeah, Medella, yeah, all those guys. I mean, and their back line also is not the same as it used
They
to.
had a golden generation, right? And
They
honestly, they made the most out of it.
They
winning
definitely
2 back-to-back Copa Americas. Anytime you prevent Argentina and Brazil from winning a Copa America is already an accomplishment, but to do it twice in a row is impressive.
Yeah,
So yeah,
especially both times against the same opponent of Argentina in Messi's prime.
exactly. Yeah, you remember the slander he was getting? How he almost retired after one of them.
I think he did retire
Yeah, like
and then came back, and he wasn't the only one. Mascherano and Aguero did the same.
Oh, is that when they? Oh, wow.
After the 2016 one, yeah, they all did the same, but then they came back. It was like I don't even think they
Did Mascherano
missed
come back?
technically any games. He did for like I think maybe one more year. So like he didn't even play that many games, but he did come back.
But yeah, no. So
I believe.
Yeah, you're right. That was actually a great point. Chichi's decline is something to be noted. Um, Again, it might be a little hard for them even to qualify for this whole World Cup.
Also Peru. I mean, Peru, they did have somewhat of a golden generation. I wouldn't call it a golden generation because it's not like they were consistently putting the world on notice.
They had good
but
players.
They
though.
did. They
Yeah.
qualified. They qualified in very nice fashion for the 2018 World Cup. The 2019 Copa America, they made the final.
Yeah, that's true.
Lost to Brazil. And I mean, now them too. It's like they're going through transition. Those players, they were at their peak then, and now it's not the same anymore. They're currently 9th place, no wins, 1 draw, 3 losses.
But let's not forget, there's still a lot of games.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure,
it's way too early to call. Argentina could be doing great now, and then drop 3 games in a row, and Argentina. So you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's still very, very early. But
yeah, because Peru almost made it to the World Cup in 2022.
Where did they finish?
They finished 5th.
Oh, it says Ecuador has been deducted 3 points.
They lost to Australia in penalties.
Yeah, but wait, what happened with Ecuador?
What happened with them?
Well, they have 4 points. They have 2 wins, and it says Ecuador has been deducted 3 points.
I'm gonna take a look at that right now. See how we haven't really been following too much of the South American qualifiers, but it seems like we should be, considering the types of matches, and then you have such controversies, because I'm assuming this is something very controversial that resulted in a 2-point drop. So I mean, while it's loading, on my side it's loading. I mean, I just hope it's gonna load promptly here.
So yeah, the 10 for falsifying birth documents for Byron Castillo. I heard about that, but that's crazy. They deducted them 3 points.
Wow.
That's insane. Wow. So yeah, there you have it.
Wow.
When was this? I heard about it, but
I mean, if you go in the article,
oh
it
wow,
doesn't
it's been a
say.
while. Oh, these are from 2022.
Oh, okay, I guess it was sort of a provision that they get 3 points deducted no matter what. So it's almost like they started the whole campaign already 3 points behind.
Yeah, at the start. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. They started the qualifying campaign with
Okay.
3 points
So there you
less.
go. Controversy, non-qualifiers related. Nevertheless, I think it's
So
still worthwhile.
If Ecuador now qualifies,
That
it's
would be
pretty
very
big.
impressive.
Well, they're qualifying at the moment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they're in sixth place.
Oh no,
So
no, they're no. I guess yeah. In a 48 team World
no,
Cup, I think they're
they qualify.
given
No, no, they're the top six qualify. Seventh place goes to a
since it's a
playoff.
48
Yeah,
team World Cup. Yeah, because in the 32, it's the top four that qualify. The
yeah.
fifth goes to the playoffs. So okay, that makes sense. I mean, well, Venezuela is not too bad either in fourth place there. So I mean, there's still a lot to play for, as you said.
Oh yeah,
It's
for
gonna
sure.
be
It's still
very
very very early.
interesting. Honestly, I have to confess, I haven't been following too much of the South American World Cup qualifiers, just a little bit. But
I've been catching the big games to be honest, but not nothing in detail yet.
yeah, and honestly, it feels like just at first glance here, it feels like it's worthwhile
Oh,
watching
for
them.
sure. It always is. You have top players, top teams, right? Like even watching Chile, Peru, and Bolivia, you're still watching quality for football. So
Yeah,
it's just so many games all the time. It's really hard to catch every single one.
for sure, for sure. Busy schedules out here too, so it's not always feasible, but whenever the chance, definitely seize the moment.
Yeah, and also other than that, I guess there's a couple big stories.
So yes,
Tonali, Fagioli, and Gomez. So yeah,
big stories this
yeah.
past
So the
week.
big stories, yeah. Fagioli, the betting scandal with Tonali. Tonali's looking at a 2-year ban, which is crazy. And now people are starting to question. Well, I don't know how true this is. I didn't fact check this or anything, but reports are saying that it's the reason why he was sold from AC Milan, and it might be why they wanted to get rid of him so quickly. And yeah, and who knows if AC Milan knew about this prior to selling to Newcastle, it could lead to
Big
some others.
consequences.
Exactly, yeah.
Big
So that's
consequences.
something definitely worth following up on and keeping tabs on. As for Fagioli, um, I believe he got the potential ban reduced because I forgot, was it because he wasn't betting on Juventus games or something like that? But yeah, so he got it potentially reduced, but he's still facing a hefty ban.
Yeah, and even
Um,
Zaniolo is getting probed too.
Zaniolo too. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, I don't know. We've had a couple players getting booked for these type of things.
and this is happening now in all sports. We're seeing this in even hockey and stuff too.
Yeah, yeah,
We've been seeing it quite a bit happening, or at least them getting caught.
yeah. Exactly. Well, it must have been a lot harder to catch before. I guess now
Exactly.
with
Yeah.
modern day technology, it's a
And
bit easier to
online
get caught
betting
up.
too,
Yeah,
right? It's much easier to track people down and all that now. So
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, and also there is another big controversy that just happened today. We're talking about Alejandro Gomez
Yeah.
receiving a 2-year ban. Now this is firm. Now
Oh,
this
he got the
is
2-year ban. You
this
said.
is
Yeah.
this is hit on him. He can still appeal,
Yeah.
but he got a 2-year ban because for doping. And thing is it's a specific type of ingredient apparently in some cough syrup that he allegedly took ahead of the time when he was suspected of having it, which
Which
was
was
just before the
November. Yeah.
2022 World Cup in November 2022. And because he had apparently gone through an illness at that point, he was taking some cough syrup, and then there were tests, and then apparently he was found positive, but he was still playing up until then. It is a little convenient though that Sevilla terminated his contract just before the end of this season.
Oh, maybe they knew something.
They must have. I mean, they probably knew that a penalty was coming. That was right around the corner. So they wanted to cut their ties, their losses with him. He signs with Monza. He already started playing with Monza too, and now I mean this happens. So 2-year ban. He's what, 36 years old, I
I
think.
could see it getting reduced.
I could
But
too.
I don't know. Actually, it'll be really interesting to see what the um the details of the case when they come out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
35 years old, will turn 36 in February. So I mean, if this doesn't get appealed, his career is done.
well,
I
he's
think his
already
career, like, first off,
already
he'll be
pretty
too
old
old.
already.
He will never be
Well,
admitted
old
to a club.
for soccer standards.
And also as a midfielder too, right? I mean, as an attacking midfielder at that age, not anyone can do it. Like,
Yeah.
I only like Messi or a superstar like that who can maintain.
Well, he's a quality
that type
player.
of
He's a
fitness.
quality player. Like for a team like Monza, he could be a valuable asset. It's just
Yes, but at the same time, now we're gonna have this to his name.
yeah, no, exactly,
Doping.
exactly.
So, yeah, as for the third episode of the Football Minded podcast, I am your host, Tony.
Peter, yeah,
And
thank you for watching.
Yes, and we'll see you at the next on the next episode.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for episode 4. We'll be analyzing this weekend's past matches, including MLS, where now the regular season will be done and playoffs will begin.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. And
league football,
episode.
finally.
Yeah, till the next episode. Take care.